Professional athletes are one of the most influential groups of people in America. This is relevant because athletes are seen every day, either on TV playing their sport or on advertisement. I spend most of my time reading articles on websites or magazines about sports and athletes. I also watch a lot of ESPN for information on this. For this speech, I also did a lot of research on the USD database. Athletes are one of the most influential icons in modern day America because of how much money and exposure they get. Some use their publicity and exposure to tell the media some of their personal beliefs that can also be good or bad. They get a lot of exposure because of how big the sport is in America. This is why athletes get paid so well. Athletes influence regular people and even other athletes in a major way. As young children growing up, young children who grow up watching the sport look up to these men and women as role models. Growing up as a child, personally, me and my friends always wanted to mold ourselves after our favorite athlete. And later I realized that people around the nation were doing this too. Even younger athletes look up to older athletes sometimes. Yet some athletes set negative examples on their viewers and fans, like instances like the Ray Rice and Tiger Woods and Brittany Griner incidents. Many parents and adults get upset at these men and women because of the negative influence they're having on children in America. Yet they get so much publicity and exposure that it's part of the job. And with all that publicity and exposure comes a great amount of money. Being a pro athlete is one of the highest paying jobs in America. This is because sports in America are huge. Like NFL and NBA games are some of the most watched things on TV. People in America will pay a lot of money to watch these events because of how exciting the players make it. Athletes are responsible for all the billion-dollar TV deals, merchandise sales, and ticket sales. It only makes sense to pay the athletes as much as they're worth, considering like how much money they bring into the sport. They're no different than like a celebrity because their job is just to entertain their viewers. Some professional athletes like to speak about other things than their sport, mostly like their political and personal views. With athletes being so influential, they sometimes take advantage of that by saying to the public what they believe for an issue. Like there's an example, like athletes like LeBron James and Derrick Rose were asked about the police brutality incidences that were going on in their city, and using their influences, they were telling people that rioting wasn't the answer, and then that shouldn't destroy their city. Most athletes are also very religious, and they use that to like preach their religion to like the public. Some athletes, however, use their exposure and influence in a negative way. Athletes like Allen Iverson and Jason Williams have made bad statements about like the gay community. Whether pro athletes use their stage for good or bad, we need to understand how much they influence us as a society. Pro athletes in America get paid millions of dollars because of how big sports are in America. With all the exposure they have, a big impact on the fans, and they sometimes use that impact to tell their personal and political opinions, which can be a good and a bad thing. Athletes are one of the most influential icons in the modern day America because of how much exposure and money they get. Some athletes have a very good impact on society, yet others do not. The public needs to recognize this and learn when to listen to these men and women and learn when to not. My sources, my first one was Are Pro Athletes Paid Too Much? This is published February 23rd, 2015 by Laura Anastasia. My second one is Now a Leader, Iverson Turns Image Around. This is published June 6, 2001 by Chris Broussard. And then the last one is LeBron James Addresses Michael Brillo Verdict, Ask for Cleveland Calm. This was published May 24, 2015 by Corey Collins.